budgeting our time. You know, I think most of us don't realize that our time actually has a currency associated with it, right?
That's
you know,
real.
we
Time
just-
is money.
Yeah, time is money. It can
Is
be,
it though?
time is a currency. Okay,
But
Time-
is time money though?
it can be. It's a
It
currency.
can be.
Time
yeah.
is more important than money,
Exactly.
right? Because your time can measure the amount of money that you have, if money's what you want.
Which is
Time
interesting. Yeah.
Time has the ability to determine how much leisure, freedom that you have as well, right? It's three things that you can do with time, I believe. You can invest it, waste it, or spend it.
Right.
You can invest it on the things that you like, love, and enjoy, the people, the experience you want to have, right? You can spend it, which means you can exchange your time for those experiences, or you can waste it. You can do nothing with it. Knowing that there is something that you need to do and you should be doing and choosing not to do it is a waste of your time.
Which is interesting because most interviews that we attend or participate in, everything that's reflected on your resume is a reflection of your time. Think about it. What have you spent your time on or invested your time on?
Correct.
Because your experience will demonstrate that.
Yeah.
Because everyone is hyper-focused on budgeting their finances. How often do we budget our time though?
It's something you have to be intentional about.
Gotta be. You gotta be.
Intentional about.
Yeah. Because I know we talked about this.
So quick question.
Go ahead.
Do you set alarm clocks?
A lot. If you looked at my iPhone right now, you would be overwhelmed how many alarm clocks are set on that thing.
Yeah.
So whenever there's a thought, creative idea. So here's our budget. This is how I budget my time. I try to make it as simple as possible because if it's complicated, it ain't going to be followed through. Trust me. I learn from experience. So I have these 3 categories in my calendar: mindset, skill set, and asset. An asset can look like tool set as well. But mindset, skill set, and asset. So the first 3-4 hours of my day is working on my mindset.
Gotcha.
Mindset's right. My mindset's right. Because the next person I meet or encounter with,
Yeah.
my mindset's right.
Yeah.
So I listen to scripture, I journal, I listen to people's thought processes, but it's healthy ones. No news, nothing like that. I'm like, no, I want a positive mindset. And then when I'm going to my work, the 9 to 5, if you will, I'm working on my skill set. My skill set is communication. My skill set is, okay, how do I implement these things? My skill set is, how do I unify the masses here? How do I present a message that moves the masses?
Yeah.
And then is it my imaginatory or imagination processes, ideas? Is it actually finding traction? If not, these ideas are going to waste and I'm wasting that time. Skill set. And then the last part is like, have I moved the needle? Am I being an asset in my sphere of influence? So that's how my calendar is. You'll look at the color schemes in my calendar. It's like certain colors, so green, orange, and then blue. That's like, okay, green is obviously mindset, and yada, yada. So it's like set that way. Has a system.
I love it, man. Like, seriously.
It works for me.
And I've seen your phone and your tablet and computer. And what are you using? Note? Is that the name of it?
Notion, yeah.
Notion, yeah. It's full of stuff. So for me, it's same thing. If I was to give an analogy of the mindset, skill set, asset, mindset first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm reading. If it's not scripture, it's a book,
Yeah.
or it's a podcast, it's a video, it's something to learn. Skill set, I'm in the gym afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm working on the body physically. And for me, it's not even just a physical, you know, trying to cultivate a physical change in my body when I'm working out.
It's therapy.
It's therapy. Yeah. You know, like I find myself in worship when I'm working out. Like I get in the zone, right?
That's good.
I block out everything in the gym. The spiritual aspect
like
of
that.
body movement and motion, it stimulates me on a deep level.
Yeah,
and
that's
then after that, it's back home to work. So now I'm working on my assets. Now I'm working on building the business, creating relationships, using my sphere of influence to motivate the masses as well. So
I like that. There was this book I'm reading. It's called Simple Money. Oh, we're reading it together. Assets under management. I like that terminology. And I think when we talk about assets, and one of our greatest assets is time. And if we don't know how to manage it, everything else is going to be in shambles. It really is the pivotal piece of our day.
I think there was a time where I used to use that same saying that people say, I don't have enough time to do X, Y, and Z.
God. Don't get me started on that one.
I don't have enough time. Okay.
And I'm like, I have compassion to those who say that. Don't get me wrong. But I have 2 kids.
It's a management problem.
I have almost 3 businesses. I have a wife that I need to make sure that I'm making sure she's taken care of. I have friends. I should be the one that's
Yeah, it's not a time problem. It's a management problem. I mean, we all, and what I'm saying is nothing revolutionary or you know, profound. Yeah, you know, we all have the same 24 hours.
We do.
It's how are you allocating that time?
It's a skill. Wisdom is a skill.
I think wisdom. So you have information, knowledge, and wisdom, and I'm gonna try to explain what I mean by wisdom.
Go ahead.
Knowledge and information. Information is prevalent. It's everywhere to be had.
It's
right?
everywhere. Yeah.
Knowledge is the ability to use that information.
It's information.
The question is, are you knowledgeable? Like, are you knowledgeable? Like, do I have the ability to acquire information and use that information?
Right.
Wisdom is a discernment of knowing what is truth and what isn't. What is fact, what is fiction, what is beneficial, what's not. That requires wisdom. That requires understanding. Yeah. Because you can do anything, but everything's not good to do.
That's key though, because wisdom is actually application. Key to do. Because if you're doing the thing that's not working, it's not wise.
That's stupid. Now, I used to not.
You went straight to the jugular, didn't you?
Seriously, I used to not like using the word stupid. I really, for a minute, I took it out of my vocabulary. I was like, because people aren't stupid. They're just ignorant, you know, or there is nothing stupid. There's
a lack of knowledge.
It's a lack of knowledge until I seen the word stupid in the Bible.
What did it say?
It was like, yeah.
It's there.
Yeah, it's there. It's like if you're doing something.
Turn it into something
else.
Yeah,
if you're doing something that's not, you know, beneficial, that's not, you know, honoring, it's not worthy of your time and who you are, then it's stupid.
So that word time came back again. It's not worthy of your time. Wisdom is understanding that this in particular, this thing that's not worthy of your time, you shouldn't be doing it, but we're doing it. Yeah. I have it in brackets here under the budget. Our time is hating the solution.
Hating the solution.
Do you think we can't budget our time because we actually hate what is actually helping us?
I don't think we hate it. We don't enjoy the work that's required.
So not enjoying, you think not enjoying is not hating?
I think hate is a big word.
It is a big word.
It's not even a big, I mean, it's only four letters, but it's a hard word.
It's a hard word.
Hate is
kind of like stupid.
Hard word. I don't think I don't think we hate anything. I think we fear things. Right? We fear the work. Like, you don't necessarily hate a person. You fear the confrontation that you're going to have when you see that person or if you deal with that person.
We hate the hurt, though. We hate the feeling of being hurt. And when you're going through
we fear the pain of being hurt.
Because because now we're talking about pain and hurt. Like, what's the difference? Like, you think about it, right? We don't like the pain.
Yeah.
We don't like, but the fact that you're embracing it and like, it hurts, but I'm doing it anyway. Yeah. Some people are hurt. They don't even realize they're hurting.
Yeah. I think people do realize they're hurting. They just don't want to walk through the process of undoing the hurt. Right?
Is the process worth it? I would even ask that question.
The process is always worth it because all work works.
But I'm even thinking like, what's in their mind right now? Like, if the thought process of like, is it even worth going through all that hurt and pain to get that? Like starting a business, for instance. Is it worth risking it all? My 9 to 5, not realizing that your 9 to 5 is a risk.
So you say fail forward. What if you think forward? Think forward. Is going through the pain, the disappointment, the potential loss, financial, social, time-wise, like, is it worth it? These are the things that you're asking yourself in the moment.
You think forward so you don't fail forward, but that's why you budget your time so you can think forward.
Because here's what I'm getting at.
Go ahead.
As you process, is it worth it? Ask yourself, 10 years from now, will I regret not doing it?
It's interesting that you said you got to process this process or this I guess phase.
This thought,
thought process, right?
Thought process.
But it's the process. You're processing the actual process.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? The stages and the levels and the phases of you going through this journey of doing the thing, you're processing the process.
You're thinking about what you're thinking about.
And the thing is that we some of us want to eliminate the process. Both processes. The actual doing piece, the wisdom piece, and the thinking piece.
Okay, let's not confuse people. Let's not overthink it, because people will overthink something and think themselves out of doing the thing
That's the key bit there.
that they should be doing.
And this is why we have to budget our time.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the time to think, you're not doing the thing that most people are doing, which is thinking. Because the majority aren't millionaires, billionaires, and living their best life.
Yeah.
Why? Because they don't know how to budget their time.
Yeah.
They're good at budgeting their finances to go on vacation, budget their finances to eat better. But what if you budget your time to think better? And I know that I'm strong with this,
No,
Brian,
it's good.
because I still can't, I am still trying to comprehend. I have 2 kids.
Yeah.
An amazing wife.
Yeah.
All these dreams and aspirations that are in the works right now.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
All because we're budgeting our time.
Yeah.
And I still hear people saying the same thing. I don't have time. And I'm like, guys, like, what more do you need? And I know this is going to be the truth and the reality. It's going to hit them in the face.
Yeah.
Because it's like your time is your most valuable asset and you're not even budgeting that. You're not giving attention to that.
Okay, so in order to have a solution, you got to have a problem, right? Like if there's no problem, no solution is necessary, right? And you have to start with the why. So if someone, I mean, let's just be practical. Let's
go there.
Let's say your health is your concern. Like, let's be real practical. Let's say your health is a concern and you're like, man, I know my health would be better if I went to the gym.
Yeah.
Or if I changed my diet and I ate better, which looks like me cooking more meals. But one, I don't, with the children and with my job, I just don't see how I'm going to be able to go to the gym because I get home too late and then I got to cook dinner and I go to bed too late. So I can't go to the gym.
Talk themselves out of it.
Right, talk themselves out of it. Or we're eating takeout because I work so late and I got to pick the kids up from school and I got to take them to the gym.
Yep.
So by the time I get home, I don't have time to cook, right? So that's a problem. You have a why now. So now that you have a why, it's your health. Your health is your why. Your distractions are all these things that you just stated. Your why is your health. Your health is bad. So once you prioritize your why, your health, you say, okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up a little bit earlier, right? I'm going to prioritize my time.
Yeah.
I'm going to get up an hour, 2 hours earlier. I'm going to work out, get home, meal prep. I'm going to take out what I'm going to be cooking for dinner.
Yeah.
That way when I get home, it's thawed, it's prepped, it's prepared. You know what I mean? Like,
that's good.
Once you find a why, your why has to be stronger than the what that you're dealing with.
I'm going to throw a curveball at you. You ready?
Let's go.
There's a big difference between motivation and discipline. I know they kind of feed off each other.
I like to say there's a difference between
go ahead.
Responsibility and discipline.
Okay, go ahead. Elaborate.
So we're all responsible, So
response able.
Exactly. We're all able to respond to a need. We all have the ability to respond to what need to be done.
We have the ability.
Exactly.
It's there.
Who got you dressed this morning?
Myself.
Who's going to get you dressed tomorrow? Like, who's going to get you from point A to point B? You're going to drive yourself. Who's going to brush your teeth? You're going to do that.
Wow. We're already doing it.
You're responsible. Like, we're all responsible to an extent. Discipline.
It's the buy-in, yeah.
Discipline, on the other end, requires something deeper than a self-sacrifice. It requires a consistent commitment to better.
Which is interesting because, we read the scriptures and Jesus had disciples. Disciple is in discipline.
Exactly, yeah.
There's this what are you following?
What are you following? Exactly.
I want to bring these 2 words in it. Hypnotic rhythms. Hypnotic rhythms. Reading a book by Napoleon Hill. He mentioned it in his book, Outwitting the Devil. And one of the tricks of the devil, let's say, in his book, his character, is that he uses hypnotic rhythms that turn into habits. And I'm thinking about what you're saying here because there are times where I don't feel motivated, right?
Yeah.
But discipline tells you it doesn't matter how you feel right now. You've got to do it because your ultimate goal, the thing that you want to achieve is good health. Health has the word heal in there. Yeah. You're finding healing, prosperity, growth, and all the nice stuff, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to hypnotic rhythms, and you talked about like, the why, right? The why. That's important. But I think we fall short in areas because we don't have enough substance to help the why.
Yeah.
And if you have 5 reasons why you do a thing, I think that's enough to a degree to get you moving to a point. But the biggest thing that I'm now, Brian,
you got one strong reason.
Brian, you've revolutionized my mind, man. You changed my life. You know why? I'm at this point where I'm dog sitting and I'm looking at the ingredients of these dog foods that these dogs are eating. I went to go buy some more dog food for this family, and I'm looking at the ingredients. I'm looking for natural flavors and all these acids. I'm like, what the heck are these acids? So I'm like, if that's in there and there's not only 4 things in the ingredients, I'm saying this to say there was this hypnotic rhythm.
You're going to get canceled talking about dog food, man.
Yeah. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, right. Well, there's actually other YouTube channels that I'm following that haven't been canceled yet, so I'm okay. But I'm going back to budgeting out. I'm saying this because people are saying this, and still people aren't doing it. What's going on? Where's the shift that needs to happen? And I'm not trying to be preachy. I'm not trying to be like, I'm at this point like, people are just going to have to get hurt to understand now at this point. If you don't listen, you'll feel. If you don't learn, you burn. And unfortunately, the burning, it hurts. Like it's worse than the actual process that we go through.
Say that again.
So if you don't listen, you feel. If you don't learn, you'll burn. And essentially all that means is that wisdom is trying to take place in our lives. But at some point, you don't take that wisdom when it's right in front of your face. You're going to feel the effects of it.
You're going to.
I like what you said earlier, and you can kind of process what you're about to say here. Sometimes we have to work, like some of us are waiting to hit rock bottom before we learn from that experience. And that's not the wisest.
I can't find what I'm looking for, man. But I was in Proverbs the other day, and it literally said, and I'm paraphrasing here because I couldn't find the note that I took, but it said, if you rescue a fool, he'll repeat it. Like the fool has to make the mistake.
Yeah.
If you don't let them fail,
so much they'll
control. Repeat it again. Yeah.
We can control what we say. We're a contributing factor to them, but they're the ones that have to determine.
Sometimes you just got to go through it, man. Like even me and you, we can talk about all the good that we do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like we have to learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
Like we have to fail forward. We have to do the things that hurt. We have to fall and burn, get back up and repeat it so that we understand that, hey, we can make it through it. Like there is a joy in the process that comes. It's not the destination, it's the journey that you find yourself on as you go through life, learning from your mistakes, learning from your failures, acquiring relationships, acquiring information and knowledge over the years.
But and this is great. I love that. And I agree. I agree with what you said. Let me explore and even expand a little bit of that because most human beings that are on this earth right now want to experience life, the best life, the right life, right? Yeah. And I feel like our contribution to our conversation here is going back to the statement that I said earlier is people don't live their lives based on principles, it's on personalities. And I want to kind of inject something here from Ray Dalio. His book called Principles, Life and Work, right, by Ray Dalio. I've heard this book brought up so many times by entrepreneurs who are successful, business owners and I'm like, Yeah. And they live their lives based on principles. Their business is running based on principles. Yeah. I remember we've had some great interactions on like how you run your business, how I run a business. And I think you're starting to understand the principles based on businesses based on your experience. And I'm learning from you, Brian, because I'm understanding that like if I am always in the business, right? If I'm always working in the business, I'm in it.
You can't work on it.
I haven't actually graduated or not that I've arrived, but I haven't like graduated to the next level because I'm still in the business. I have to be at a place, and every successful business had a successor. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking about like with our family nucleus, right? In order for me to inherit or pass on this incredible opportunity to my kids, I have to raise them up to be a successor.
Yeah.
In order for my family to be successful.
Yeah.
So when it comes to principles, I want to just bring up one of these points here is, I love this. He mentions learn from your mistakes.
Mhm.
He says embrace a culture that encourages experimentation. Now, not reckless experimentation. Learn from other people's experiences.
My running joke is
Go ahead.
that when I started doing air conditioning,
Mhm.
I was breaking more stuff than I was fixing.
Mm.
But I was in a culture where
Allowed
the individuals that hired me, they was like, listen, you'll figure it out.
because they've made the mistakes.
We've made the same mistakes. It's okay. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone. Don't be afraid to call me. Don't be afraid to go out there and try and fail.
Don't
right?
be afraid. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
And a lot of us, and I'm speaking general,
Yeah.
a lot of us, we put the emphasis on people to be perfect. I don't have time for mistakes. I don't want to waste money. I don't want to waste time. Like, don't take risks,
Wow.
right? And when we limit people to taking risks, we create a culture of fear and anxiety and panic, right? You got to be willing to go out there and make mistakes and learn from them.
Alluding to this budget, our time, right?
Yeah.
You and I had a conversation in the kitchen. Remember this last year?
We had a lot of
It
conversations.
was like December, actually. It was December 2022.
Okay.
You were in your own kitchen. We were renting from you. Let's not get that twisted. The conversation was around like you wanted to work on your public speaking. And then I challenged you like, oh, let's start a podcast.
Remember, I had a why though. If we go back,
Right.
5 minutes in this conversation,
Yeah.
I had a why.
You
It
did
wasn't
have a
just
why.
something that I wanted to do. I had
Right.
a reason for wanting to do it.
There was something in you,
Yeah.
inkling in your spirit. They're like, I want to work on this, but I just need a platform. I need something to work on.
Boom.
Platform right here.
Yeah.
We have our microphones, right? So I'm thinking back then, every champion had a challenge.
Mm.
So in order for you to be a good public speaker, you need to be in an area or an arena to be able to work on that challenge in order to become a champion communicator.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that to say that's a principle.
Yeah.
Not personalities. You can be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to be on TikTok. And yeah, granted, if there's some of them who went viral and trending, but
Creating characters with no character,
no content.
no content.
They think it's content.
Yeah.
But how is that making make life better? Well, there are some good content out there. But I love this part here, and I feel like this kind of alludes to you and I. Seek, and this is from the book, Principles, Life and Work. Seek diverse perspectives. Value diverse viewpoints and experiences as they can lead to more creative solutions and better decision making. I feel like that diverse piece, we're embracing diverse. I feel like we're in a culture in this day and age, this generation, where we're embracing this beautiful diverseness in culture, right? Now, there's a thing that I hesitate with diverseness is like some people bring something to the table that doesn't really bring value to society. It's diverse, but like we need some time to really think about this because it does say here it leads to more creative solutions and better decision making. Key, better decision making. Sometimes some of this diverse, I guess what's a pitch idea that's brought to the table may not be a better decision making process.
Okay. That kind of correlates to what you got this saying where you talk about too much information could be bad, like too many choices could be bad for you.
Yeah. Anxiety. Anxiety leads to or is born out of too many choices to make.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So diversity in itself is a good thing. And we live in an age right now to where you don't have a choice but to be exposed to diversity with the internet.
Technology.
Right? Yeah, there was a time where, messages were being carried by horse, right?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And then we had the
dove,
mailman,
yeah.
right? We had the literal post office delivering mail. Now we have email. You get information and mail and messages like that. So you're exposed to diversity.
Yeah.
But it takes discernment to determine what's useful and what's not. And that's when it's important to be diligent about thinking about the things that are important, that's going to be of use and good value to you.
That's good.
Because too much information
from
the wrong sources is more damaging than it is helpful.
I think what's really good about budgeting our time is learning your personality traits and even just your strengths and gifts, talents, if you will. Because in the end of this piece of Seek Diverse Perspectives is surround yourself with people who challenge your thinking and offer different perspectives. You're talking about the challenges of having too many different perspectives to where you're overthinking it and you can't make a decision. It becomes you become anxious. But I think the more you learn about how you self-regulate in those processes, because you do need diversity.
It's necessary.
That's why we have university, unified in diversity.
Yeah.
But you have to learn how to self-regulate. Okay, this is overload. I'm at that peaking point. And this is why I think budgeting our time is important, because there are times in your day when you're at your peak performance, peak state.
Yeah.
For me, it's this time in the morning.
For me, it's this time in the morning as well.
Yeah. I try to have my meetings the first couple of hours in the morning. Like even my skill set portion from 9 to about 11 to 12, I'm having my meetings or interviews. If it's late in the day, I'm like,
You feel it coming on, right?
Yeah, I feel
so
it.
for me, it's 3 a.m. to about 12 p.m.
Everyone's listening right now. They're like, 3 a.m.?
Seriously.
The heck are you doing at 3 a.m., bro?
Like I'm crushing it from 3 a.m. to about 12 p.m. After lunch, man, I started dialing down.
Which is biblical, because I know Jesus was waking up that early. Stop being like Jesus, Brian. Nah, that's what you called me.
Seriously.
One of the other things in the principles, and the reason why I'm bringing this book up here, Brian, is going back to...
And this is Ray, right?
This is Ray.
He's awesome.
The reason why I keep bringing this book up is because the time budgeting is a principle.
Yeah.
Like time is like a vapor. It'll be gone before you know it. Not to bring fear or shame, all that kind of stuff. It's to like, hey guys, like,
Be intentional.
yeah, you only live once. That's a good point.
Yeah.
You only get one shot at this thing.
Yep.
You don't get that time back. And something that I really want to project, and I'll come back to this point, something I really want to project, and not in an unhealthy way, in a good way. I want to project a message out to our clients and our customers for our school, is you want to create memories. I thought about the processes of, and this is the thing, if you budget your time, you have time to think, right?
Yeah.
I thought about this. I was like, man, I'm a parent of 2 kids. If I do not embrace and be grateful with the kids that I have right now at this age, when they go off to college,
yeah,
I'll pause at that. I've read testimonials of parents who have sent their kids off to college and they go in a state of depression because they've regretted not creating those memories. The memories that they had was working too hard.
Okay.
And you know what's interesting about working too hard? And I'm not saying don't work hard.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. I don't want to project the message of like not working at all. No, it's like budget your time effectively. It's about efficiency.
Okay.
And effectiveness. Because if you're working too hard, guess who remembers you working too hard?
Children.
Your kids.
Your kids. Okay.
Visual stimulus. And guess what? You teach the kids to work hard and not spend time with your kids. Work hard and not be intentional with the family that you are working hard for.
Yeah.
So as I'm processing this, I'm like, our school is going to work hard towards creating beautiful memories so that you can look to the duration of the child's development. I remember that memory. I remember that. And that's why I think you and I are really collaborating well, Brian, because I'm starting to hear you saying the same thing now, that you want to create experiences, more memories.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, my last vacation to Costa Rica. Man, I'm 41, going on 42. And for me, it's been all that, just work hard, earn as much money as I can, say, like be diligent, be responsible, which is all great things.
It's great things.
Right? But after going on this vacation, man, and just experiencing the other culture and being able to experience it with my son, here's the special thing about this particular vacation is that this was his first time using his passport.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I've used my passport plenty of times and been to different places, but this was his first time using his passport and being in another culture. He speaks Spanish fluently, so for him, it was pretty dope being in a Spanish-speaking country.
That would have been cool to watch.
And I was like, this is the life. It's one thing for just me and my wife going on a vacation and flying somewhere and chilling, but to have him there with us experiencing this. I didn't get on a plane until I was 26, my first time getting on a plane. And he's been flying since he was like 2 months. Right. It made me realize that I wanted more experiences like this than things, than possessions. Possessions come, go, they get old, we replace them, we lose them, people steal them, they break.
It's a diminishing
experiences you take forever and you build on those experiences.
It's a core memory.
And they become the things of life, right? They become the projection that you see life through and how you experience life. Your experiences become how you experience life, how you see life, and your reflection of the world.
Yeah.
And for me to understand the value of that at 40 to 42 almost, the fact that I get to give him that insight and that ability to understand this at 11,
Yeah.
I'm just so hopeful of the person that he's going to be, right? To be able to experience that and see life in a different aspect, you know, and all the possibilities that exist. And the reason why I'm passionate about speaking and sharing and even doing this is because, like, this is a real viable thing that we can give the next generation.
Yeah.
Our children, if they are doing as we did, hopefully we did something great and they're able to do something great as well. And this be passed down for generations. You know, we talk about breaking generational curses. It's not curses, it's really chains. You know, it's the binding chain of my hurt, my abuse, my neglect that I didn't know how to overcome. And when I don't overcome, I just pass down, right?
It's generational ignorance.
It becomes generation, exactly, right? So if I can just have a different experience, expose him to a different experience that's life-giving, that's purposeful,
Diverse.
hopefully he can have that same experience, man.
Love this. I feel like as we kind of like land the plane, if you will,
Yeah.
one of the points here, Ray Dalio says here in his book, he says, build strong relationships. Invest in building strong, trusting relationships with colleagues, clients, partners. You mentioned family. Foster a culture of mutual respect, empathy, and collaboration. Love this because let's just start with your core family.
Yeah.
Building strong relationships. That's the first business. That's the first approach.
It is a business. You know, more often than not, you know, we separate business from family, but your family has a structure and it has its own culture. Like how do we operate? What are the expectations? Who's responsible for cleaning the bathroom? Who's responsible for taking out the trash? Like there's a position that everybody plays, right? And if you don't see your family as a position that everybody plays, then who's responsible for what? Then there's chaos.
That's even like,
And that chaos is going to carry over into your life outside of the home.
I know there's some
you know?
friends who don't have families. Either they don't have their kids of their own or they're not they're in a toxic family.
Yeah.
So I even think with like the principles of like building strong relationships, friend groups, communities.
So how can you foster something out of something that you never had?
Which I feel like I have because I have it here, obviously with our church.
Yeah.
Moving from Australia, and then Morgan is from Missouri. So it's like we had to really be intentional about that area, which is why you're part of our fan group and several others. But I have this thought here. We are where we are because of our thoughts and our deeds. We are where we are because of our thoughts and our deeds. All deeds follow thoughts, specifically dominating thoughts. And I think this is why we have to budget our time, because some of our dominating thoughts, we don't even realize it's dominating our lives.
Yeah. Just running on
Because
autopilot.
your thoughts and deeds are the contribution to how we see and how we operate in life. So I think with like budgeting our time, even just the practicality of it is like I use Google Calendar because that thing notifies on my phone all the time. It's like, hey, you got this, you got this. But I also have to follow through with my alarm clocks because sometimes I don't see it. It looks like a text message. It comes down with a notification. It doesn't like come up as an alarm. So I have to look at my calendar before I start my day to set alarm clocks to remind myself I've got a meeting with this guy. I've got to paint the playground. I don't know, just random stuff. Have you heard of the focus funnel?
I haven't.
The focus funnel is essentially a funnel where you have all these tasks go through this funnel in order to make sure that you procrastinate on purpose. Everyone thinks procrastination is a bad thing. You can use it for good.
Yeah.
So procrastination on purpose or procrastinate on purpose, put these tasks through this funnel. And the first part of the funnel, as this task goes through, is ask yourself, can I delegate this? If I can't delegate it, go to the next part of the funnel. The next funnel is, can I automate this?
Okay.
Systematize it.
I like
if it can't be a systematized or automated, go to the next last phase of the funnel, which is, okay, it's time to procrastinate on it. This is the decision making. Should I focus on this right now with this pocket of time, or can this wait for tomorrow? Can you procrastinate this on tomorrow? Which is the focus funnel. This is something that we're using for our school, because try and launch a school. See how many tasks you have to do.
From kindergarten to 8th grade?
From 3 months to 5 years old, 6 years old. We're actually going to 6. Yeah. So we have these tools. I wish I had that when I was at school. Why aren't they teaching this at school? They don't want you to budget your time.
It doesn't suit the system.
It's an institution.
It doesn't suit the system, man.
It's an institution. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some great schools out there. They're hard to find. But it's like we're not teaching kids how to study.
Yeah.
We're not teaching kids how to budget their time.
Yeah.
And that's ingrained in them. And then when they come out in the work field
Yeah.
and they're living a life of abuse because they didn't manage their time well.
We're not teaching kids how to think. You know,
Mm.
the one thing that got me is kids don't write anymore.
Yeah.
Like they literally don't handwrite.
Wow.
You know, it's not something that we practice.
Mm.
That in itself is a skill. And the fact that we're digital now, you don't even have to learn. You don't have to know how to read or spell, because Google will translate or correct any misspelling. You know,
That's real. Yeah, that is creating bad habits. Here's a statement that I've got up here that's going to kind of. So the reason why we're talking about time budgeting, Brian, is because there's a purpose behind this thing.
of course.
And I love this statement from Miles Monroe. He says, "Purpose doesn't make life easy; it makes life possible."
Possible.
And I know everyone throws purpose like willy nilly. Oh, purpose.
It's almost. It feels like it's a new word, don't it? Right?
It's almost like being redefined.
Yeah.
But a purpose, essentially, all it is original intent.
Original intent.
What was the purpose of a thing?
What was the reason for? Why was it created?
Time.
You know, I like to do this when I'm talking to someone and they hit me with that, man, I'm just trying to figure out my purpose. I just want to know what I'm called to do, what I'm supposed to do, right? And I point to the phone, right? And I say, well, what is your phone? Like, what is the purpose of your phone? Answer that for me. What is the purpose of your phone?
Communication.
Communication. What is the purpose of this chair?
Sit on your comfort.
What is the purpose of these pants?
Cover your ball sacks.
What is your purpose?
My purpose?
Yeah.
My purpose is to.
Well, most people
serve.
can't answer that
Yeah,
question.
right.
You get what I'm saying? It's like there's like a 10-second pause.
Let me rephrase that.
There's like a 10-second pause.
My purpose is to partner with the next generation, live in their creative space, and make it a better place.
It's like a 10.
Don't put me on the spot,
pause.
Brian.
And then they laugh, and it's like, wow, okay, I never even thought of that. I'm like, you know the purpose of created things,
Oof.
but you are a creator of these things.
Say it, man.
Every one of these things that you just identified as purpose for was created by somebody, and you have the potential to create it. Right? Start tapping into that potential to create.
Yeah.
Literally, what it boils down to in its simplest forms is our purpose is to create. Now, what it is, we have to figure that out. But we, like, God created us in partnership to be able to create. You know, like we give life. I got life inside of me. I have a seed. My wife has an egg. That, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that in its simplest essence is the creation story. Like we have been created to help create, and everything that exists, like God has given us the raw material, but we've created the things to be useful.
It's funny you said form, right? Everything that was form had a formula.
Boom.
And a formula came from a designer.
Mm-hmm.